DLR is kind of a tough matchup for Glacier decks because they play so much slower. You really kind of have to hope that you get those early scoring windows that you can rush something out. Otherwise, you just don't have the time to really close out games in these kind of matchups.
Right. And I think the new 5-3 we saw,
I think it's incredible.
Is going to make the spiny Palana better. It's going to make PE wreck people.
Yep. I mean, you throw a Hokusai grade, it does 5 on its own if you're PE.
Yeah. So that should be fun. I think we are expecting to see Jinteki back in the meta.
I mean, the super shock that we saw.
We're really excited about those. So
can you imagine running 3 shock, 3 of that?
Yeah. Oh man.
Your archives, forget it. Never run in there again.
Archives. Might also signal the return of IG, though. Be careful.
God. No.
But I'm, as a Jinteki player, somebody who started and really has done the best with Jinteki, I'm excited to see that Jinteki might be coming back. So just to see Palana out.
I mean, Prison is a style of play. I mean, it's very popular in Magic, so I think it's just something we're going to have to get used to.
Sure. And a pretty good early start.
That's a great start, I think, if you're Timmy, especially if you anticipate the DLR.
Yeah. Ice Scarcity, and we see like 2 gang signs in hand for Brian that are now not getting dropped.
Yep. So, so I think this is really going to put Brian in a tough position. He's not going to get the opening that he wants.
Yeah.
It's really going to slow him down.
Easy mark. Yep. Well, there's Rumor Mill, so I think he's just going to have to play that pretty early.
I think so, just to get rid of it, or at least the turn he anticipates playing down a lot of resources. He's going to drop it down.
Right.
But yeah, it's good for him that he drew that so early.
He does have 6
cards.
Hand,
yep.
So
I think he's still deciding.
Oh right, he does.
Yep.
Yeah, he still has
a click left. So
we'll get rid of the same old thing.
So, I wonder if Timmy's playing more standard Glacier or if we're going to see the kind of popular spiky Palana that we've seen recently.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. Scarcity certainly suggests maybe a Glacier build.
Right.
Just trying to buy him time. But
it
looks like he spends 3 clicks.
So he's just throwing everything down. Yep, so he's throwing the Rumor Mill and then,
Gang sign, and I'm not sure what that last one is.
Drug dealer?
I don't know, all you kids in your fancy alt-art. Yep.
Yeah, that's
indeed.
Yep.
The drug dealer.
So this is definitely a DLR.
Yeah, especially when you see that alt-art DLR.
Yep.
Where did he get that?
I don't know. Crazy talk. So, I mean, the nice thing with drug dealer is Timmy's going to be drawing, his econ is not going to be an issue.
They're both going to appreciate this.
Yep, so Timmy's not going to be overly afraid of getting a cut size in this game because he's going to have plenty of money to deal with it anyways.
Although Brian has one in hand, and maybe another same old thing. So, yeah, those are his 2 cards.
So, looks like he's going to try and push out this Philotic right here. I mean, I think that's all you can do against DLR, is you just have to try and rush out behind. You put down an ice, you rush it out and see if they do anything. But that's really your only option here. You cannot afford to play the long game.
Well, and Brian doesn't really have tools to attack any server right now with ice on it. Right. So Timmy's in a pretty safe spot for that.
I think Timmy would also like to really kind of throw it on something in archives just so he doesn't have to fear DLR getting installed at some point. Kind of determine when that's going to happen.
Well, it's going to happen as soon as Brian draws the pieces because with 2 siphons and a same old in hand, he's ready.
Yep. So I think Brian here just really wants to draw into that either.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's just got to draw pieces.
Yep.
And the Plascrete, obviously not one of them.
Not going to do anything. So,
there's a Faust. Yeah.
So that's helpful. So that gives him the opportunity to siphon.
And with 4 credits, it actually maybe makes a lot of sense to just go for it. Drug dealer is going to eat one of them.
So I think you have to score this Philotic knowing that Faust is on the table.
And it gets rid of that Rumor Mill, which is not insignificant.
Absolutely.
But it does put you in double siphon range.
Right, but I think, with drawing, you're essentially getting 2 credits a turn.
Yeah.
So I think even if you get siphon, I think you still feel okay.
So gang sign, gonna fire.
The double gang sign. So let's see what we get. And the Leela bounce, of course, too.
Fast track. Yep. So presumably he'll bounce the ice in front of HQ.
Yep. And then he can just double siphon after.
Siphon.
Yeah, seems fine.
In fact, for full value, draw a card.
Right.
Siphon.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, and especially seeing the restructure in hand.
You definitely want to go on.
You want to deny that.
Yep.
And so and I think that's the thing Timmy had to consider, and he decided, well, the only thing that punishes me here is double siphon.
Because the problem is, even if he didn't score it out, Brian could have run it, scored it, and then siphoned anyways.
Oh, interesting. Brian's going to siphon. He didn't bounce anything.
He didn't bounce anything. I don't think they realized. And that's an important part of being Leela. It's kind of a big deal.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay, okay.
And then Brian's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I would have done that before I siphoned, obviously.
So you think Brian is going to do the draw card trick?
Well, does he have the click for it?
Well, he just siphoned turn one.
I'm sorry. This is click one. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking the bounce, the card bounce had come off of him stealing an agenda, and in fact, that is not the case.
No.
So yeah, he has.
So he's going to disable thing siphon.
He's just going to remove tags.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, not ready to go full tag me yet.
Yep.
And it looks like it was a pop-up window in front of HQ.
Dangerous ice.
So yeah,
terrifying.
Didn't even need the draw card trick. So Timmy's sort of outs here. Well, he's got a Caprice in hand, it looks like. So that's an interesting.
The hard part is obviously, your econ issue is it's a little hurt. You can't feel comfortable trying to score anything right now.
Right. So you just got to try and recover and maybe stay safe from that next siphon, which is actually probably coming sooner than he would like.
Probably.
And unfortunately, even with the Caprice in hand, we see another rumor mill in Brian's hand. So that's
it's not going to do
a moot
anything.
point.
Yeah, because normally knowing DLR, you throw it down on HQ.
Right.
But it's obviously we know that it's not going to work here. So again, Timmy is really kind of on the back foot, I think. Brian's draws have just been really, really good.
Yeah.
To allow him to apply the pressure that he really needs to keep, Palana poor. The amount of money Palana can make, they can get so far ahead that they can easily afford to trash, your DLR, your Fall Guys. So Timmy really trying to keep him out here.
Yeah, and I didn't see what that ice other.
So I think it was a Bastion,
okay.
I believe is what it was. I know a lot of people have talked about Bastion with Paperclip being, in the meta, playing it over even Eli these days, just because it forces, the check anyways.
Yeah, and actually with Faust out, it's, now with 2 Blast Greets, it's more manageable because he's happy to get rid of those.
Yep.
That might even be a breach in hand, though.
I think that is.
So
it's interesting to see. You don't often see the Central Breakers out of the DLR deck simply because they don't have a lot of space to put a lot of these.
Frankly, it's a pretty good option.
Yeah, it is.
Just because that's all you really need to access is the Centrals.
Right. Yeah, most of the time you usually see Eater as kind of the.
Interesting. So he's going to run R&D. Timmy's not going to res. He's going to see Jackson and he will trash it.
Sure. I think that's fine.
Yeah, when he just drew the DLR, so he knows he's going to be ready to go soon.
So there's the install.
Yep.
So I think Brian just looking for Fall Guys, looking for Wireless Net Pavilion.
Well, Timmy draws a celebrity gift, so he'll have money.
Yep.
At least.
So you can, I think if I'm Timmy, I might consider a celebrity gift into restructure.
Yeah, I think that's the smart play.
Keep your econ high enough that, even if you get siphoned, you're still fine.
And he has a Jackson in hand, so can maybe avoid some of the hurt that DLR is going to put on him.
So Timmy thinking, I think he's thinking about that play. Because you do, same old thing on the table. There's siphon. So.
Okay, he's just going to put it down. Unfortunately, we've seen Rumor Mill in hand.
Yep.
So presumably Brian's going to drop that and then siphon whenever he's ready.
Yep.
In fact, might just drop it now. So yeah, as you said, Brian really just looking for Fall Guys, Wireless Net Pavilion to sort of finish his asset suite or his resource suite.
Yep. Once you get that mill going, especially considering there's nothing in that remote server, for Brian to have to worry about Timmy trying to force something up behind. You have the rumor mill in hand, even if he does manage to get a Caprice or a baddie or something down there and start advancing, you just drop the rumor mill and you just run it anyways.
Now, I have an interesting thought.
All right.
What if Timmy is trying to play 24/7 Flata?
Knowing Timmy, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
In which case, he might be okay with all the DLR mills as long as he can score one more agenda.
We haven't seen any other agendas, so we don't
we
know
have
that
no
he's
idea.
running this A.
You'd have to think, though, if that was the case, he'd be running something like Kusanagi's.
Right. You would think
clone retirements.
Something, right.
And so that we would have seen one by now.
Splashing some, some news teams or something, but So
Celebrity Gift. So we see another scarcity.
Yep,
So
so
that's
he's
good
got an
news for
answer to
him.
Roseville, which is good.
Himitsubaku,
Yep.
Fast Track, Restructure, and Jackson.
So the fast track then makes me think.
Yeah,
It might be.
in fact be what's going on here.
Yep.
But he's got to find them.
Right.
And get them before they get milled.
Right.
He's got to find the next agenda and the 24/7. That's what I'm hoping it is now. I'm gonna continue under that assumption.
But I think Timmy's going to get to a point where his econ is going to be too much for Brian to really hold him from trashing anything.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always been kind of Palana's strong suit against DLR is their operational econ. They can just, if they draw in the right order, they can just explode into 30, 40 credits, you know, before you even realize it.
And we know he still has Restructure that he's holding on to. So there we go. DNA Tracker is a big problem for Faust.
That is not cheap to get through. I mean, that's your entire hand you're talking about here. Does he even have 5 cards currently?
Hard to say.
1, 2, 3. So he's just taking the net damage.
So lucky.
Fall Guy's a good hit.
Fall Guy's a good hit, but
no, 2 Blast
double
Creeps.
Blast Creep.
That's pretty rough.
Absolutely what Brian was hoping for.
Yeah.
And I think Brian didn't have any money anyways.
No, he
or
didn't,
very
so
little,
he didn't have to worry about losing. Yeah,
So
you
that was
would have
probably
loved
the
to hit the rumor mill, the account siphon. Ugh. But, I mean, the Fall Guy is still a good hit, I suppose.
Yeah. But again, puts him back down into siphon range, and with the same things up, there's a second siphon. So Brian maybe going to be thinking about this next turn.
So I wonder if Brian's thinking maybe there's another DNA tracker on HQ.
Maybe.
You know, he doesn't.
But in that case, you're forcing him to spend 8 more.
That's true. It's almost as good as a siphon anyways.
Yeah. We have to assume Timmy's going to fire the Restructure here to stay above 10.
Is that an Ice Wall that Timmy drew? Seemed like some Trick of Light shenanigans?
Hard to see. Thinking about dropping the Jackson right now. He will.
Yep. So it looks like he's digging for something.
I think he's just on Nisei, so
Double
Nisei and a
food.
GFI.
Yep.
All right, so we're off the 24/7 plan. I'm disappointed.
That's too bad.
Disappointed but not surprised that he's playing a real deck as opposed to my shenanigans.
What? Real deck's not allowed here. Unless you're Brian, of course.
And I think the 24/7 Philotic is more often seen on a PE
right.
anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you play all the 1-pointers anyways, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Timmy content to just restructure and draw some cards.
Yep, I think that's fine. You know, again, you have the ability with Palana, especially with drug dealers on the table. Your econ isn't going to be hurting, even if it does, it's not for very long.
Yeah, and he has a win in hand now. He has a Nisei and a GFI.
Yep.
If he can find a window or a way to shore up that server to score out, then that's obviously going to be his goal.
Well, and Brian isn't going to be rich too often because with drug dealer he's slowly losing credits. He's got to install his pieces. So at some point you open up a window where, you know, Brian can't even really play against Caprice.
So Timmy contemplating not even.
Because Brian didn't draw. Yeah, because Brian has no money, right?
Right.
And he didn't drop down Rumor Mill. Which means he can just
Caprice will keep him out.
Res Caprice, or he could just play this.
There we go.
Force him to discard the card anyways.
Discard a card.
Yep.
And still Res Caprice.
Right. Absolutely. And you make $1. So seems fine. But yeah, now I don't think you really need to. I think you could just Res Caprice.
Yeah, I don't think you res that. What was it? Bastion.
Bastion,
I believe you need to res that.
No, there's really no reason, unless you want them dropping 2 more cards, I suppose. I mean, it is a little bit taxing. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to force him to discard 2 more.
He's going to do both.
Yep.
So Brian's just going to bounce here.
Well, he's going to...
Because he can't get in with Caprice anyways.
Right.
And he can't trash Caprice. He might as well bounce. No needs to use the cards.
Yep. Yeah, there's really no reason to. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting play by Timmy. I think he would have been fine just resing Caprice.
Yeah. Although he would have needed to do it when he res pop-up window, so I guess maybe that was why.
That's true. That's true.
But well, no, I guess you can res it before
you can res it before you decide
to not res the Bastion. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, interesting decision. Giving him a lot of information that maybe you don't want him to have.
Right.
Well, there goes Breach, so it's irrelevant. Now it's just a piece of ice to Faust.
And is that a swordsman, I think, Timmy?
I think that is a swordsman.
So
and that's good.
Yep,
that's a good deal.
I think you just throw that down on HQ, and you never have to worry about getting siphoned again. Especially with seeing Breach pitched. I mean, you're even less concerned about it at that point.
And a Lotus Field as well. I think swordsman on HQ.
You know, you might even consider putting that swordsman on your remote.
Or R&D.
And just forcing out agendas behind it.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair.
You know, because he's not getting through with Faust. It looks like he's on central only breakers. If you're Timmy, you're seeing breach there. So at that point, he really has no way to get into that server the entire rest of the game.
Right.
You know, and you have the agendas, so you can try and see what he does
I think
here.
I think that's a smart play.
Yep,
I think if you're thinking far enough ahead, you think, okay, if I'm going to have enough money to really keep the Siphon threat down and a Caprice on HQ, then his next target is R&D, so maybe that's where you put it. But I think with agendas in hand, you say, well, I'll just score out. So, yeah, I think you're right about
I think he wants to be a little more comfortable econ-wise.
Oh, here we go.
Because obviously right now, there we go. Crisium Grid on top of it, I think.
So I suspect he plays restructure here and actually drops the agendas.
Yep, I think
and probably Jacksons them back in.
Yep.
He might keep the Nisei to play. But I would suspect, he'll keep the Swordsman, the Crisium, the Nisei, maybe the Fast Track. Nope. Looks like he's getting rid of the Fast Track. So he's keeping the Himitsu. Oh, no, Fast Track's
No, he's keeping the Nisei in hand, it looks like.
He's got the Nisei, the Swordsman. Oh, that's a
DNA tracker. Okay.
Sorry. So, yeah, he doesn't necessarily need another one of those. He'd like to see it again. But
right. And obviously he knows that Brian's on the rumor mill, so yeah.
So it looks like he maybe took back a one restructure. Not clear.
So Jackson,
a face down, presumably
the GFI. Yep.
So I think 2 GFIs and a Jackson is what
I think that's right.
Which is fine. Brian, you have to see that and be pretty comfortable that he's not putting back econ.
Right.
It means he's still siphonable.
And it makes you even wonder if maybe he's sitting on more agendas. It's possible if he's choosing not to put econ back instead.
Yeah. On the other hand, we know Timmy has Crisium, so next turn he's safe from siphon period.
Right. Yep. And you know, Brian being, broke right here, and taking away, he would have to credit, drop rumor mill, and run.
Right.
In order to get rid of that Caprice, which would be his entire turn.
Yeah.
So, it's Brian being, at a disadvantage econ-wise, not being able to get those early siphons off is really going to hurt him here, I think.
Well, there's easy mark.
So I think just rumor mill and then siphon is probably the play here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, there it goes.
Now the tough thing is, to get past Bastion, he's going to have to drop whatever that is.
I don't know.
I don't even know what that alt
is.
An
is
inside
that
job.
Political operative, maybe?
Could be. It's not the FFG alt art fall-off.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Could be a different alt art fall-off. And so he'll still have the second siphon as well.
Yep.
But he can't really get back in with it.
So.
Oh, wireless net pavilion.
Yep.
Dropped. So.
And the thing is, because the con siphon, Caprice is still in play. Timmy can get rid of it.
Right. He'll just play Scarcity.
Yep.
Although you know what? I think he dropped Scarcity into Archives.
It's possible. So let's see, a Nisei. I know he still has the Swordsman, one Nisei. I think he has another Scarcity in hand.
You know what? I think it's right behind the Nisei.
The Nisei there, yeah.
So
I think if you're Timmy, you can just do that.
Do you try and trash here? Do you try and trash the DLR?
I think you do.
Fall Guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? This is one of the cheapest times it's going to be.
I
think you trash both the DLR and the wireless net. Yeah, 6 credits. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're making roughly 2 a turn anyways, so. Yeah, I think that's the play you got to do here. Maybe even consider going trashing same old thing, or one of the same old things on top of it too. Spend 8 credits.
Yeah.
And just so you don't get re-siphoned again, because it's going to happen, of course.
Right.
But otherwise, the other option is Scarcity, and then, trash wireless net and the DLR. That way you still have your Caprice to not have to worry about getting siphoned after the trash.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do, is I would drop the Scarcity and just trash the mill.
Yep. So he's definitely trashing
wireless net pavilion and the DLR.
And the DLR, yep. And then dropping the Scarcity. Oh, just Christian. Yeah, that seems fine.
That's fine too.
Yep, absolutely.
Now your rumor mill is blank.
Yep.
And if he scores out the Nisei, it's gone anyways.
Right.
So
Timmy actually in a
pretty
good position.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, his econ isn't quite as high as he'd like it to be, but he's definitely really got R&D or HQ under control.
Right.
So he shouldn't really have to worry about siphons for much of the rest of this game.
Yeah, and I was going to say, unless Brian has multi-access, the agendas are okay in HQ.
Yep, absolutely.
But
yeah, I don't think Brian
he also
would
just got fisked, so that's even better.
Yeah, especially when you're drawing into celebrity gift and you have econ. Yeah, I think you're fine here. So yeah, I do think Timmy's in a good position here. Brian just wasn't able to apply the early pressure.
Yeah.
Timmy able to get the Caprice down early and now the Christian grid. It really puts him in a difficult position to get the DLR train going here.
Yeah. Still going to drop the fall guy, though.
Yep. He hasn't cleared the tags, which is
really
interesting. Yeah.
The tags are still there, and he's still dropped the fall guy.
Yep. So I just killed the fall guy here, I think. Is that
encrypted portals? Is that what that card is called?
Yeah, that was.
I think.
Yeah, that's okay. So.
All right, so the 24/7 dream is not dead.
It's still possible. That's right. It's still a thing here.
We've still only really seen Jinteki cards.
And the thing is, if you just never advance something here, Brian's not going to expect it.
Right.
You're thinking it's another Caprice or a baddie or something.
Well, and with only Faust out, can't really necessarily afford to run.
And it
now
did show him,
Brian,
which is interesting.
But he has so many cards in hand that he's hidden the 2 Caprices or the 2 Niseis.
And he's also hidden the Swordsman too.
Yeah, which is really, really important, actually.
Absolutely.
Timmy, man, what a player.
Next level plays all day long. So, if you're Brian, you see that card.
Yeah, you have to be wondering what's going on.
Right.
Now, if Brian has seen the Philotic 24/7 decks, then he
might
should
have
maybe have an idea that that's what's happening.
Right.
But we're still not sure that that's what's happening. In fact, that's an Ichi.
So you're thinking baddie.
Wow. Such an interesting deck. And this is Timmy.
This is what he does.
This is why he is the people's champ.
Absolutely. So Ichi going right on HQ. He's really, really making sure he's not getting siphoned anytime in this game. So
I think really smart on his part.
Absolutely.
Just to have the deck built with that in mind.
Yep.
Knowing.
Yep.
That who knows what he's going to see at King of Servers.
Yep. So another Fisk here being played by Brian.
He's going to draw another fall guy, another easy mark.
Yep.
So he's got money to clear the tags.
Because I think what Brian is banking on is he can drop these fall guys when he Fisks, because Timmy wants to be able to play out some of his cards.
Which is reasonable, I suppose.
So, and I think he's hoping he can draw into another wireless net to help keep these fall guys alive.
Although that might be that Altard that we saw glimpse of.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, that's possible.
But I think it was different than the wireless net he dropped, which was also Altard.
So it looks like same old thing. Siphon is the play here.
Yeah. Now, is this the Swordsman?
I believe this was the Ichi he threw down here. But you have Chrysium.
Right.
So,
well, it's not even a Siphon run, right?
He's same old thing. So I'm assuming he's siphoning here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, there's the Ichi. Yep.
So this is going to be tough for Brian.
Yep. I mean, that's 3 cards at least. And Leela has no link, so it's still 3 cards in a credit. And then he won't. I'm trying to think. He'll have enough to at least trash Christian if he needs to.
Yeah, well, and I think you have to.
Well, you have to. Right, absolutely, I agree.
I mean, you're going to get the Caprice here.
So.
But if you don't get the Chrysium, there's no way for you to get back.
You're never
to the
getting
DLR
back and do it again.
Really.
Absolutely, yep. So he's letting the trace fire. Letting him spend the 1.
Okay.
I might have considered spending 3.
Yeah, with Timmy, I think
maybe
you have
get
enough money.
Get him under the Chrysium trash cost.
Yeah.
Would have been kind of interesting play.
Because he's already going to spend the 1 on Caprice.
Yep.
You would think.
You would think so.
Not.
Maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he thinks that Rumor Mill is going to stick a lot for longer than it is.
So Brian accessing, of course.
Seeing the scarcity.
Sees a scarcity.
We already saw that, I think, when he celebrity gifted last turn.
Yeah,
so we knew that was there. And then, trashing everything.
Trash both. So, yeah, I think, if Timmy had spent a few credits on the Ichi trace, that might have been
because, brain damage still could have gotten,
brain
that levy.
With a Faust, brain damage is huge.
Massive. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, if he hits the levy with Brian on
I'm beginning to think this 24/7 play might be a thing.
Speak of the devil, clone retirement. Do you just install
I think you just install it, get rid of the hard part.
No, you can't.
You can't
because he'll bounce. So you gotta put the second.
You do Caprice and then you do scarcity resources.
I think that's the play.
Yep.
Caprice, the scarcity, and then you can drop the Swordsman in front of the scoring server.
Yep.
And just start going to town.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you have all these never advanced agendas anyways, so I think that's fine.
Yeah, in fact, he might just do
he
that.
might just try and score it
install
now.
one agenda and force him to try and run it maybe, because he still hasn't seen the Swordsman.
Yep. I still,
but, okay.
so Caprice back, and then so he must be playing the Scarcity then. Yeah, he's got to.
Although he has a handful of agendas.
Right.
So that could, well, but with Caprice out
Caprice,
and,
right,
and
doesn't
Brian
matter.
on no money.
Oh, interesting. So that's interesting that he's playing the Caprice while the rumor mill is still in play. I'm not sure about this play, but you know,
he's
again,
just gonna let him score agendas off of archives?
Maybe. So he's okay. I guess if he's trying to get to the 24/7, I mean, he wants Brian to draw, score some agendas.
I guess he also knows that Brian's not coming back in immediately for the account siphon.
Right. And Brian doesn't seem to have any interest in running archives right now. Anyways, probably until he starts DLRing anything.
Brian also still looking for the pieces. There is the second wireless net pavilion, so he's almost certainly going to try and play that.
Yep.
I would think.
I would think so. I mean,
especially having seen the Scarcity.
Right. And you can't let Fall Guys just sit out there naked without any protection.
And there's the legwork, which is now live with no Chrysium.
Yep. So, there's the wireless net.
Although, how did he afford it? Presumably he took one and then installed.
Okay, there we go, yeah.
And then Fall Guy. Yep.
And it's too bad. I do, if Timmy had played that Scarcity, this would have been a very, very different turn.
Yeah.
You would have had to click for 3 credits just to play.
Yeah, very interesting line from Timmy.
So I guess if you were Timmy, you have to score that agenda now. But
well, you've got 9 cards in hand.
So many cards. So thinking about Celebrity Gift. I'm not sure what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think Timmy's regretting the not playing that earlier. Yeah.
So he plays it now. Maybe a little too late, especially we see the DLR in hand.
Absolutely. Is that an arc lockdown?
Arc lockdown. Interesting.
Oh, get rid of both the rumor mills. Yeah. So never has to worry about it again.
That's
I like that.
He could have also maybe done Siphon.
Right.
And then he would just have money forever. But
yeah, because I think Brian's played all 3 Siphons.
Maybe. I only know I saw 2 in there. I don't know if he has another one in hand.
But I suppose if you're on Caprice, this is the safer play.
Right.
And, this means that Brian's probably not going to have the econ to get back in there to even play with Caprice.
Yeah, with Caprice on HQ and a Swordsman on the scoring remote, I think Timmy's feeling pretty good.
Yep.
The only thing is we know he has DLR, and he's about to install it and start milling.
Yep. Because now you're looking at, 12 credits to get to this DLR?
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I think if you're Brian, it's really all you can do. So Brian, I assume he ran that archive specifically to drop DLR here.
Although at this point, what Timmy will realize perhaps in retrospect is that if he installs DLR, Timmy can spend all 3 clicks trashing it.
Yep.
And then could have arc lockdown both DLRs.
Right. Right. Maybe Timmy's running a second copy. Who knows?
Maybe. I really like that card. I was surprised not to see any of it this weekend.
Well, during the Gunslinger, that was actually a really big combo with that new Wayland card. Was they would trash whatever they wanted and then lock it down.
Right.
Yep.
And so I think stuff like that we're going to see more of.
Yep. I mean, it's great for breakers. A lot of people are running multiple breakers.
Right.
And it doesn't. And recursion is irrelevant when it's locked down, anyways.
Yeah. And so, I'm sort of regretting that I didn't play it in an HB deck. I think we're going to see it splashed more like this too.
Absolutely.
So
I tend to agree.
Especially in Jinteki, where you're dealing net damage.
Store championships now that Worlds has done, people are going to have more time to kind of explore, new strategies, see what kind of things, weird combinations they can come up with that, can still be successful in a store championship type, area. But that gives them all this time to really kind of see what opportunities these new cards provide, which will be good.
Okay, so now I think they're talking about the order that things happened here.
So
Brian stole an agenda, so Scarcity should be gone, I think?
Yep.
Or not. It's unclear what's happening.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
But it looks like he DLR'd and started to mill stuff, and then they realized something had happened.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure what the confusion is here. And again, that Scarcity shouldn't be in play.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's not that relevant.
Right.
I mean, it should go away to allow him to install the.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like he's now installed the DLR.
Is this? I still don't think they realize about
what.
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Judge. Judge. So. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on here, but.
Yeah. Well, but so Timmy's sort of just back on. Well, let me try and advance stuff out now. I know he's got DLR, but he's got. I think he has all 7 points in hand still.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he's got the swordsman there to protect his remote. So assuming that's an ETR ice back there, obviously Brian sitting on the inside job. I don't know if he sniffs that out here.
Yeah.
But I think you have to feel comfortable just trying to score something.
Yeah, I think, and if you install baddie.
Yeah, that's fine. Even if they do inside job, you can still resident fire baddie, and it doesn't matter anyways. So, yeah, I think I'd like to see him start pushing something behind this.
Yeah, I mean, as with against noise, any deck that wants to mill you or just sort of deny you from playing Netrunner,
you just gotta
push it. You just have to rush.
Yep, absolutely.
I think Timmy has done the right thing in sort of protecting HQ up to this point.
Yep.
At some point, you have to change gears and say, I'm gonna score.
Yep. So Timmy's starting to trash.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So he's going for the DLR.
So he's going for he's going broke here.
Yeah.
Yep. Spend all his turn trashing.
All right. So he's not content to let the RNG of R&D decide the game for him.
Well, I think that DNA tracker is still,
still very strong.
It's not insignificant.
And with 2 DLRs in the bin, you've seen 2 rumor mills.
Yep.
I'm not sure what else he's seen.
Yep.
Faust.
And Brian saw obviously
Faust.
the arc lockdown, so I wonder if Brian suspects maybe a second arc lockdown
I would
is potential.
I would be pretty scared of that at this point.
So it looks like
so he's going to inside job HQ, probably to try and take out that Caprice, which he assumes or knows is there. So he's inside jobbing, jumps over Ichi. So, I don't know how he paid the one. Oh, with Mongoose. He broke.
Yep, he broke with Mongoose. But Brian's broke, isn't he?
Yeah, he's broke.
So that's kind of a strange play. Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to do there.
I think maybe he thought it was Frizzy.
Even then,
he can't trash it. So.
Yeah.
I guess he assumes at this point there has to be agendas in hand, which makes sense,
and
he's right.
Yep.
So
hey, one of those new flashy alt art hedge funds.
Love that card.
Yep.
So yeah, his worst thoughts are now confirmed. Yes, they're all in HQ. No, you can't.
No, you can't get in there. Yep. So now that you've revealed everything, I think you have to start scoring here. Yep. Yeah. There it goes.
Although same old thing, inside job, we know is a thing.
That's true. Oh no. Oh.
So
wow.
Turn 0 here. 1 to 2.
High scoring game here.
And at this point, I think Brian just.
I think he's
same
just
old thing inside job.
Yeah, you got to run that remote that you put down because you didn't see any assets in his hand. You know that's an agenda.
Right.
I mean,
and so if he just runs, we know it's game over.
Right.
If he inside jobs it.
Well, he needs to make 2 credits first.
Yeah.
So his turn would basically be credit, same old thing inside job.
Yeah.
And that'd be his whole
turn.
And
that might be, And that might be risky.
But that would be enough because that would put him on 3 points considering.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. So take 2, same old thing inside.
Yep.
Man, maybe I'm not a bad player after all.
We're better than we think we are.
So, look at old glare.
There's so much glare.
Know what it is, but we have to assume that.
Yeah, it's inside job. Yeah.
Yep. So
that's going to hand Brian the game here.
It won't actually.
Well, time is called.
Timmy has a clone retirement.
Oh yeah. So we can draw here. So yeah, you just gotta. I mean, that's all
so
you
in
can
fact,
do.
they will tie. That is fantastic.
It is,
but we see here Timmy's decision not to rush out early. It hurt him a little bit.
I agree. I think that turn where he chose not to play the scarcity.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yep,
that was. It let him lay down.
Let him
a
siphon.
Wireless Pavilion.
Well, it let him siphon, and then
yep.
So I think that was the mistake there. I think if he had played that 1 turn earlier, I think Timmy would have had a good shot to just push out behind that.
Yeah, and I think it's hard against these decks because Timmy, obviously, you could see had tools to deal with it. He had the money to afford to handle it head on and just trash everything.
Yep, absolutely.
But knowing when that's the right thing to do is really the hardest part about playing against those decks.
It is.
And also, we're not playing as seriously here. Nobody was probably paying attention to time. So
probably not. Yeah, I don't think they had any idea how close they were to the end of the round at this point.
I didn't even realize.
No, I
flies
can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe that was
fun.
65 minutes already.
70 even.
Wow, God. I can't. No, that's
King
hard
of
to
servers,
imagine.
we have this relaxed time.
We do.
Built in.
That's right.